Breaking news tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed. The charges are unclear as of this moment.
Man, I ain't gonna lie.
Let's be honest. The headlines about Diddy's arrest have left everyone stunned. But was it truly unexpected? What if we told you that everything we've seen so far might be part of a much larger, calculated game? A game that involves betrayal from someone incredibly close to Diddy, someone like Jay-Z. Could Diddy, one of the most powerful icons in the music industry, have been framed by his own collaborator? It sounds unbelievable, but the rumors are spreading like wildfire. This arrest may not be a coincidence. It might have been meticulously planned by individuals from within his own trusted circle.
Action, because that's how I always feel when I see situations like this. And then there's this weird sense of grief because it is Diddy, right? Diddy is a hip-hop hero. He's an ordinary person who did extraordinary things. To sit here and act like the man wasn't a huge part of our upbringing is a damn lie. So there's this weird sense of grief. Like another one of our heroes has ruined their legacy and it's their own fault because of poor choices?
It all began with Diddy's sudden move to New York. On the surface, it seemed like he was simply preparing for an inevitable legal battle. Even his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, issued a statement. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, a self-made entrepreneur, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. But here's the twist. Diddy's arrest at a Manhattan hotel wasn't as straightforward as the official narrative would have you believe. Beneath the surface, there's more to this story than meets the eye.
I have information that he was arrested tonight at a Manhattan hotel. He is currently being processed. I heard from his attorney they are still maintaining his innocence. They said that in anticipation of these charges that Diddy relocated to New York last week.
On the night of Diddy's arrest, federal agents moved swiftly, apprehending him at a New York City hotel. Reports suggest he was taken into custody without much resistance. The charges had been looming over him for months, and many anticipated this day would come. But let's take a closer look. The timing, the location, and the circumstances surrounding his arrest seem a little too convenient, don't they? Especially for someone like Diddy, a seasoned industry veteran who's managed to sidestep serious legal trouble for decades despite a career full of controversies. It raises an important question. How could someone as calculated and experienced as Diddy get caught so easily?
Was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying and they arrested him.
Fans and industry insiders quickly began speculating that there's more to this story than meets the eye. Why would Diddy willingly return to New York if he knew an arrest was imminent? Some believe he walked into a trap, possibly misled into thinking he had a chance to clear his name, or even strike a deal to secure his freedom. And this is where things get even more intriguing, because that's when the name Jay-Z enters the picture.
Okay, this is what I mean when I say people wake up every day and just volunteer lies. Diddy, how are we supposed to believe anything that comes out of your mouth? And furthermore, why should we not believe the rumors of things going in your mouth when you out here volunteering bold-faced lies? You would still be lying to us right now if it was no video. You didn't even apologize to Cassie in the video.
For years, Diddy and Jay-Z have shared a relationship that's been equal parts rivalry and camaraderie. They've been seen as allies, competitors, and sometimes both. Their friendship has always been a delicate balance, moments of mutual support intertwined with undeniable competition. Even Jay-Z himself once acknowledged this dynamic, saying, "We push each other. We inspire each other." It's just a beautiful relationship of natural competitiveness. But what if that competitiveness crossed the line? Could Jay-Z, fully aware of the storm brewing around Diddy, have seen it as an opportunity, not just to distance himself from the chaos, but to solidify his own standing in the industry? A compelling theory circulating online suggests that Jay-Z may have played a pivotal role in Diddy's downfall, not by directly turning him in, but by manipulating him into walking straight into the hands of law enforcement. Imagine this. Diddy, feeling the pressure as legal trouble loomed closer, receives a call from Jay-Z. Perhaps Jay-Z offered him a lifeline, a supposed deal with the FBI, or a promise that cooperation might make things easier. For someone with the level of influence and behind-the-scenes connections Jay-Z commands, this scenario isn't entirely implausible.
And in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially P. Diddy was the Epstein of the rap.
Desperate to protect what's left of his legacy, Diddy takes the bait. He heads to New York, believing he's walking into a negotiation, some sort of settlement or cooperation. Instead, he walks straight into the trap at Hotel H, where federal agents are waiting. They arrest him without drama, and just like that, Diddy is in custody, while Jay-Z remains untouched by the scandal. He continues his life as one of the most powerful figures in the music industry, unaffected by the chaos that has suddenly engulfed his former rival. The question everyone's asking is, did Jay-Z tip off the authorities? Or did he simply stand by, letting events unfold, knowing that with Diddy out of the picture, his own empire would continue to expand uncontested?
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
This wouldn't be the first time Jay-Z has been linked to shady dealings behind the scenes. His rise to power in the music industry has always been shadowed by rumors. While he's never been caught up in anything as scandalous as Diddy's current situation, those close to both of them have often noted Jay-Z's uncanny ability to navigate trouble while keeping his hands clean. After all, he's the ultimate businessman. And in business, sometimes even friendships become collateral damage. So what about Diddy's circle? Let's not forget, Diddy hasn't been acting alone all these years. He's always had an entourage of loyal followers. But in the world of power and money, loyalty is often for sale. Rumors are swirling that some of Diddy's closest associates may have played a role in setting him up. Whether it was out of fear for their own futures or as a calculated move to save themselves, the idea that members of Diddy's inner circle could have been working with law enforcement isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. Consider the growing list of lawsuits and allegations against Diddy. While he's managed to dodge many of them with settlements, the sheer volume of accusations over the years, from violent behavior to illegal activities, suggests that there are people in his life who know far more than they're letting on. Could it be that some of these insiders, perhaps people Diddy trusted for years, decided it was time to cut ties and cooperate with authorities in exchange for their own immunity? It wouldn't be the first time we've seen something like this play out in the world of celebrities.
It's just crazy. Just read.
The theory that Diddy was framed by those closest to him gains even more credibility when you consider the timing of his arrest. Why did it take so long for law enforcement to move in, especially when the accusations against him have been piling up for months? Some believe the delay was intentional, giving Diddy's inner circle enough time to distance themselves and negotiate their own deals with authorities. By the time Diddy arrived in New York, it was already too late for him to do anything but walk right into their trap.
Is there any possibility that he walks away clean from this, that everything is dropped and he faces no charges or any prison time?
Not impossible. I mean, anything is possible, but I don't see that happening. I see him kind of going the path of R. Kelly, where again, for so many decades, he was able to act with impunity and just, with harming so many, young women.
One name that keeps surfacing in these rumors is Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former associate of Diddy who recently filed his own lawsuit against the music mogul. Jones's explosive claims about hidden cameras in Diddy's properties and secret recordings of powerful figures engaged in questionable activities have only fueled the fire. According to Jones, Diddy possessed compromising footage of celebrities, executives, and athletes at his infamous parties, footage that could ruin careers. Some speculate that Diddy's arrest could be linked to this very footage, with Jay-Z and other influential figures eager to ensure that it never saw the light of day. But here's the twist. What if Jay-Z and others within Diddy's circle didn't just want to protect themselves from the fallout of these recordings? What if they saw an opportunity to remove Diddy from the equation entirely, securing their own futures in the process? By handing Diddy over to the authorities, they could not only neutralize any potential threats to their reputations, but also take down one of their biggest competitors in the industry.
I think industry talk, there's a lot of people who have worked for him. There's been stories around, which is, not necessarily unusual.
It's a theory that's gaining traction with each passing day, especially as more details about Diddy's arrest emerge. The way it all went down, the swift settlement of Cass's lawsuit, the sudden raids on Diddy's properties, and the whispers about Jay-Z's involvement paints a picture of a meticulously orchestrated takedown. And if Jay-Z was indeed involved, it would mark one of the biggest betrayals in the history of hip-hop. Think about it. Two of the most influential figures in the music industry, once friends and collaborators, now entangled in a high-stakes game of power and survival. Diddy, trapped in a web of accusations and legal trouble, while Jay-Z potentially pulls the strings behind the scenes, ensuring his own empire remains untouched. It's the kind of story that could only unfold in the world of celebrity, where loyalty is fleeting and betrayal is just another move in the game.
You pay those lawyers to know. Those lawyers know what he's going to beat, and those lawyers know what he ain't going to beat.
As the rumors continue to swirl and more information comes to light, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. Diddy might be in custody, but the real story of how he got there is still unfolding. Whether or not Jay-Z was directly involved, his name will forever be linked to the downfall of one of his oldest friends. As fans, we can only sit back and watch as the drama continues to unravel, wondering who will come out on top in this high-stakes game of power, betrayal, and survival. But here's the thing, even if Diddy was framed, many argue that he's far from an innocent victim. In fact, some would say he had this coming all along. Think about it, over the years, Diddy has found himself at the center of countless controversies. This latest arrest is just the culmination of a long history of allegations and shady behavior. While it might be tempting to focus on the drama of a potential betrayal by Jay-Z or his inner circle, the reality is that Diddy's troubles run much deeper.
Mr. Diddy, a.k.a. Mr. Love, now.
No, Sean Carter.
Jay, okay.
Diddy's career began in the early 1990s, and from the outset, he was seen as a force to be reckoned with. As a record executive, producer, and entrepreneur, he built Bad Boy Records into a powerhouse, helping launch the careers of artists like the Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, and many others. But with that success came whispers of darker dealings behind the scenes. There were always rumors that Diddy wasn't just a businessman. He was someone who knew how to play the game, and not always by the rules. His aggressive, take-no-prisoners approach to the music industry left a trail of enemies, and with enemies come accusations. Over the years, Diddy's name has been linked to a series of incidents that paint a picture of a man used to operating outside the lines. From his infamous nightclub altercation in 1999 to allegations of intimidating rivals, Diddy has always seemed to be walking on the edge of controversy. And while he's never been convicted of anything too serious, the rumors have never really gone away.
New at 5, the legal troubles continue for Sean Diddy Combs tonight after a judge ordered the music mogul to pay $100 million to a Michigan man who says that he was assaulted by Combs in '97.
According to court documents, Derek Cardello Smith says Combs and then assaulted him during an after party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit. But Combs never responded to the lawsuit in court.
One of the most infamous incidents from Diddy's past was the 1999 nightclub shooting in New York, where a scuffle escalated, leading to shots being fired and 3 people getting injured. Diddy, along with then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez and his protege, Shine, was caught up in the chaos. While Shine ended up serving time, Diddy walked away relatively unscathed, claiming he had no involvement in the violence. However, many people never fully bought that story. There were whispers that Diddy had used his influence and connections to avoid serious consequences, leaving Shine to take the fall. It was just one example of how Diddy seemed to always find a way to come out on top, no matter how dire the situation seemed.
Well, one of the things that's going to happen, and I do believe that there has been a grand jury investigation that has been employed in this case. I think there may be a federal investigation going on, and there may be a stateside one, but I'm not totally sure. But one of the things that the prosecution in any case is going to try to do is show that there is a pattern of behavior.
Fast forward a few years, and Diddy's reputation for aggressive business tactics only continued to grow. The music industry is known for being cutthroat, but Diddy took it to a whole new level. There were rumors of backdoor deals, intimidation, and even allegations that he'd sabotaged other artists' careers to maintain his dominance. Some industry insiders have suggested that Diddy's real power didn't just come from his talent as a producer, but from his ability to control the narrative, whether by paying people off or using fear to keep potential threats in line.
Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in, every bit.
In fact, many of the legal battles Diddy has faced over the years have been settled quietly, leading some to wonder just how much dirty laundry has been swept under the rug. For example, the countless lawsuits from former employees and associates who claimed they were mistreated or financially wronged by Diddy have often ended in undisclosed settlements. This pattern of avoiding public trials has only fueled speculation that Diddy had something to hide and that money was being used to keep the truth from coming out.
Named Diddy 77 times in court documents related to Tupac.
But the rumors don't stop there. Some fans and industry insiders believe that Diddy may have had deeper ties to law enforcement than anyone realized. For years, there's been speculation that Diddy acted as an informant for the FBI, which could explain why he managed to avoid serious legal trouble for so long. These theories suggest that Diddy may have been feeding information to authorities in exchange for protection, which would certainly make sense given his ability to navigate through numerous allegations and scandals without facing major consequences. The theory that Diddy was working with the FBI gained traction after a series of high-profile incidents seemed to point to his possible cooperation with law enforcement. One such incident was the tragic demise of the notorious B.I.G. in 1997, which shook the entire hip-hop community. While Diddy has always maintained that he had no knowledge of who was behind the shooting, some believe he knew more than he let on. In fact, there are rumors suggesting that Diddy may have been working with authorities in the aftermath of Biggie's death to help bring down certain individuals connected to the case. Of course, none of this has ever been proven, but the idea that Diddy was somehow protected by law enforcement continues to linger. This theory becomes even more intriguing when you consider Diddy's long-standing rivalry with Suge Knight, the infamous co-founder of Death Row Records. Their feud, which began in the mid-1990s during the height of the East Coast-West Coast rap wars, was one of the most notorious in the music industry.
The only man currently facing murder charges in the case, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, claims that Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, paid for a hit on Tupac.
While Diddy and Suge Knight have both downplayed the intensity of their feud in recent years, there's no denying that their conflict led to violence, paranoia, and ultimately the tragic deaths of both Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Some have speculated that Diddy's alleged cooperation with the FBI could have been motivated by a desire to protect himself from Suge and his associates, ensuring that he stayed one step ahead of his enemies. Of course, these are all just theories, rumors that have been floating around for years, but have never been substantiated. But if even a fraction of these allegations are true, it paints a picture of a man who's been playing a dangerous game for decades, one where power, influence, and fear have kept him out of trouble. Now, as the walls begin to close in, it seems Diddy might finally be paying the price for all the things he's managed to get away with in the past.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was up.
But let's not forget, Diddy's reputation isn't just built on alleged criminal activity. He's also been accused of ruthless business practices and exploiting those around him. Former Bad Boy Records artists have spoken out about how they were treated under Diddy's leadership, with many claiming they were financially taken advantage of. For example, Artists like Maze have publicly called out Diddy for withholding royalties and keeping them locked in unfavorable contracts, preventing them from benefiting from their own success. Maze even went as far as accusing Diddy of hypocrisy, saying that while Diddy publicly advocates for Black ownership and empowerment, he privately undermines the very artists who helped build his empire.
Criminal investigation for months by federal prosecutors here in New York, and if there are criminal charges, many of them may look a lot like what some of these individuals have been describing.
The irony of Diddy's downfall lies in the fact that, for so long, he seemed untouchable. Even when rumors and allegations swirled, nothing ever stuck. He was always one step ahead, able to escape the consequences that others would have faced for the same behavior. But now, with this arrest and the mounting evidence against him, it seems like Diddy's luck may have finally run out. The industry that once protected him is turning its back, and those closest to him are distancing themselves, perhaps fearing they'll be caught in the fallout. While the rumors of a setup by Jay-Z and others are compelling, they also point to a deeper truth. Diddy, despite his wealth and influence, made too many enemies along the way. Whether it's former business partners, artists he's wronged, or rivals in the music industry, there's no shortage of people who would love to see Diddy brought down. Now, it seems the forces aligned against him have finally succeeded in doing what no one thought was possible, putting him in a position where he can't talk or pay his way out.
There's layers upon layers. When you get into these conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers upon layers.
But the biggest question remains. If Diddy was truly cooperating with law enforcement all these years, why didn't that protect him? Some believe Diddy's downfall could be the result of a broken agreement with the FBI. Maybe he stopped cooperating, or perhaps he became too much of a liability for them to continue shielding him. Others think that this arrest is part of a larger conspiracy to remove him from power, orchestrated by people in both the music industry and law enforcement who saw Diddy as a threat. While it's easy to focus on Diddy's mistakes and questionable past, the possibility that he's been framed by those closest to him adds a layer of tragedy to the story. If Jay-Z and Diddy's other associates truly did betray him, it would mark one of the most significant betrayals in hip-hop history, a story that would be talked about for years to come.
Well, that's the interesting part here. And so what the plaintiff in this case did was filed for what we call a temporary restraining order, which would have prevented Diddy, or would prevent him from selling that Los Angeles home. And so we know, or at least we believe, that that TRO was granted to enjoin or stop him from selling that home.
But let's not forget, no matter what the truth is about Jay-Z's involvement or the actions of Diddy's inner circle, Diddy himself is not without blame. He built his empire on a foundation of controversy, manipulation, and alleged criminal behavior. He's played a dangerous game for years, and now, whether he was framed or not, it seems like that game is finally catching up with him. The arrest might have been the final move in a complex game of chess, but Diddy's role in his own downfall cannot be overlooked. He's been given chance after chance to reform, to distance himself from the chaos, and to build a legacy that wasn't tainted by scandal. Instead, he chose to continue playing with fire, and now he's getting burned. So, as the dust settles and more details emerge, the real question we're left with is this: was Diddy's fate sealed by his own actions, or did those he trusted most turn against him when it mattered most? And if Jay-Z and others truly played a role in his downfall, will they be able to live with the consequences of their betrayal, knowing that they might have taken down one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop history? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.